Welcome to Lizessence. I'm Liz, and today we're talking about the most talked about girlfriend in Formula One that nobody actually knows. Her name is Rebecca Donaldson. She is Scottish, she is a model, she is an entrepreneur, and she is the woman who stole the heart of Spanish driver Carlos Sainz. But here's the thing, despite being everywhere on the paddock, despite the flashing cameras and the gossip columns, she remains a complete mystery. And that mystery is exactly why we cannot stop watching her. Before we go any further, if you have not watched my previous video on Alexandra Saint-Malo and the art of being unbothered, go watch that first. That video lays the foundation for everything we are talking about today. Two women, two different styles, one shared superpower. Now let's get into Rebecca. Rebecca Donaldson was born on July 24th, 1995 in the small town of Scone in Perthshire, Scotland. This is not a big city. This is a historic place, home to the famous Perth Academy, a school founded in 1696 that calls itself possibly the oldest school in Scotland. She grew up there, surrounded by rolling green hills and a quiet sense of community. Her mother signed her up for a beauty pageant at the age of 17, almost as a joke, but Rebecca ended up winning. She won a competition called The Face of 2011, and just like that, a shy Scottish girl was on her way. From that first win, she went on to compete in Top Model UK. She moved to Glasgow to study. She juggled school with modeling jobs. And while many models fall into the industry by accident, Rebecca stayed because she genuinely loved the craft. She studied fashion. She worked as a stylist for 4 years. She told Elle magazine that after a photo shoot, she is the one who hangs up the clothes. Most models never do that, but she does, because she understands that fashion is not just about being in front of the camera. It is about respecting what happens behind it. Her career quickly gained momentum. She has graced the covers of Vogue Ukraine, Marie Claire Mexico, Elle, and Harper's Bazaar. She has walked the front rows at Dior and sat among the biggest names in fashion. She is signed with agencies like Elite New York City and Premium Models. She is a working model, not a social media celebrity pretending to be one. And that distinction matters. But like any good story, there was a turning point. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Rebecca found herself feeling purposeless. The bookings stopped, the travel stopped, and instead of waiting for someone to give her an opportunity, she created her own. She launched Muse Activewear, a brand built on minimalist, versatile gym wear. She designed pieces that blended comfort with contemporary style. She built a business from her living room during a global lockdown. And while the company has since been dissolved for reasons unknown to the public, the act of starting it tells you everything about her character. She is not a passenger in her own life. She drives. Now, let's talk about how she entered the world of Formula One. In the summer of 2023, after Carlos Sainz ended a 7-year relationship with journalist Isa Hernández, he was spotted walking the streets of Milan with a new woman. That woman was Rebecca Donaldson. They kept things quiet at first. They did not announce anything. They did not post couple photos or give interviews. But the internet has eyes, and those eyes noticed. The funniest part of their soft launch came from an unexpected source. Pierre Gasly, a fellow F1 driver and friend of Carlos, accidentally posted a photo of Carlos and Rebecca together on his Instagram story. He later deleted it, but the damage was done. Fans went wild. Memes flooded social media. And just like that, the mystery woman was no longer a secret. But here's what makes Rebecca different. Most people, the second they are exposed to millions of new eyes, would immediately start performing. They would post more. They would lean into the attention. They would monetize the curiosity. Rebecca did the opposite. She kept her Instagram feed exactly as it was. A mix of professional modeling shots, Fashion Week moments, and the occasional glimpse of her life. No desperate captions, no oversharing, no trying to prove that she belongs. In an interview with Elle magazine, she said something that perfectly sums up her entire approach to fame. She said, and I quote, "My relationship with social media is love-hate. I like it to show my work, but not my private life. That is the line." She draws a hard boundary between the public and the private, and she never crosses it. Even her friends are a testament to her discretion. She counts Lady Amelia Spencer, Princess Diana's niece, among her close circle. She has walked red carpets with Scott Disick, of all people, back in 2022. There were even brief rumors linking her to Leonardo DiCaprio, but none of those headlines changed her. She moved through them with the same quiet grace, because she knows that attention is temporary, but character is not. Her style in the F1 paddock has become a talking point in its own right. At the Italian Grand Prix, she arrived in a burgundy top paired with a black miniskirt. Simple, elegant, no logos screaming for attention. At the Australian Grand Prix, she wore a tonal outfit that she described as summing up her personal style. She is not trying to compete with the other wags. She is not trying to outdress anyone. She dresses for herself, and somehow that makes her the most stylish person in the room. Let me pause here and remind you to hit the like button and subscribe if you are enjoying this deep dive. We are building a library of women who move differently, women who understand that less is often more. Rebecca Donaldson is a perfect example of that philosophy in action. Now let's talk about her relationship with Carlos Sainz. Unlike many F1 couples who post constantly and perform for the cameras, Carlos and Rebecca are almost shy about their love. They rarely speak publicly about each other, but their actions speak louder than words. When Carlos had emergency surgery for appendicitis in 2024, Rebecca was by his side. When he crashed at the 2025 Australian Grand Prix, she was there in the garage, comforting him. When his father hinted to the media that marriage might be on the horizon, Rebecca smiled and said nothing. She lets Carlos talk when he wants to. She never forces the narrative. Carlos himself once joked to Charles Leclerc that he might marry Rebecca in Las Vegas. It was a throwaway comment, but fans have held on to it like a promise. Whether or not they get married is beside the point. What matters is that they have built a relationship on trust and privacy, not on public validation. In early 2026, Carlos moved from Ferrari to Williams. It was a difficult transition. He left a top team for a midfield seat. The pressure was immense, but through all of it, Rebecca remained his constant. She was spotted in the Williams garage, cheering him on, wearing his team colors without a single word of explanation. That is loyalty. That is partnership. And that is why fans adore them as a couple. Rebecca Donaldson is proof that you do not need to be loud to be powerful. You do not need to share everything to be loved. You do not need to explain yourself to be respected. She walked into the most scrutinized environment in sports, the Formula One paddock, and she refused to play by the old rules. She did not become a WAG. She remained a model, an entrepreneur, a woman with her own career, her own friends, her own life. The paddock is just one room in her house, not the whole house. If Alexandra St. Malou is the art student who understands curation, Rebecca Donaldson is the fashion insider who understands distance. Both women have mastered the same skill. They know when to be seen and when to disappear. They know that the most valuable thing you can own is your privacy. And they know that in a world that demands constant access, the only real power is the power to say no. So as you go about your week, ask yourself this: where are you oversharing? Where are you performing for an audience that does not actually care? What would happen if you pulled back just a little? What would happen if you let your work speak for itself and your private life stay private? Rebecca Donaldson built a career, a business, and a high-profile romance without ever losing herself. And if she can do it in the chaos of Formula One, you can do it in your own life. Thank you for watching Lizessence. If you want more stories about women who move differently, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. And do not forget to check out the previous video on Alexandra St. Malou, because these two women are rewriting the rulebook together. I will see you in the next one.